Welcome to the Pastor Chira Show. I'm Pastor Chira, and today we launch. We launch into new mindset. We launch into new territory. We launch into new relationship. You ready to launch out? Come on and launch out with me as we go into this conversation. So today, I am privileged to be joining with me is Minister. Is she a minister? I think she's a minister. I'm going to say she's a minister because in our conversations, she certainly ministers to me. So I'm going to bring in Minister Joselyn O'Hannon-Brown. She is going to be talking to us today, and we don't even know what we're going to talk about. We're just going to talk because that is how we have been since I met her. We have clicked and connected because her spirit is just so sweet and so opening and so welcoming. So I welcome you to the Pastor Chira Show. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Hello. Thank you for having me.
How are you?
I am blessed. How are you?
I'm great. I'm doing awesome. But you have been doing so much, and we have talked here and there, and we've been excited about this. So can you just tell the watching audience just a little bit about you before you and I talk about you?
Yes, ma'am. My name is Joselyn O'Hannon-Brown. I'm a singer-songwriter. I'm a minister of the gospel. I am a servant of Christ. That's my favorite position. That's my favorite thing to do. And I'm just here on earth just to spread the good news of God and how good He is and be consistent in my walk with Him that I can be a light to somebody.
Girl, and you are a light. You are an awesome light. I done told you, your eyes are beautiful. Your cheekbones are wonderful. Like, you are just beautiful. You are beautiful. And I thank God for showing through you in how you look and what you say and how you present yourself. Can you just tell us how you got on your journey of being who you are as a follower and a believer in Christ?
Wow. Well, as a lot of people had this testimony. I grew up in church.
Mm-hmm.
I grew up in church all my life. Grew up in a little storefront church with my grandfather, my grandmother,
Right.
my mother, my father, aunties, uncles. Everybody's a preacher. Everybody's a singer. So I grew up in a godly atmosphere all my life. And what I'm most grateful for, even before I became an adult, I'm most grateful for my foundation and how they taught us holiness and taught us how to serve God in excellence, and really give God your life. Nothing deep, but just to live uprightly and boldly before Him so you can be a light to people. And, as you're a child, you hear all the cliches and the religiosity and stuff. And sometimes it goes in one ear and out the other. But as I became older and I continued to grow in God, those things that I was taught back as a child started to take root in my life, and I started to use those tools as I walked in my walk with Christ, and it helped me make certain decisions. Even when I went left, it pulled me right back. So I thank God for a good thank you, Jesus, for a good foundation in Him. Because because you're naturally going to pull away from what you know.
Yes.
Let's call life.
Yep.
But whatever you're taught, God will redirect you back to that place. And I'm just so grateful that no matter how far I got, I wasn't too far where God couldn't touch me. I always knew how to get back home. And for that, no matter where I found myself, no matter what obstacles I came against, I was always able to overcome because God.
You know what? And that's funny because, there are those of us that grow up in church, right? And we do have the foundation, and, it's been instilled in us. Like, we've been taught, right? We've been around it. That, like, we can't get away from it. Like, it's just who we are. Because there are some of us that don't know how to get back because we feel like we've done too much, we've gone too far, and we've been too bad, and we can't come back.
Yeah.
Have you ever experienced that?
Yes. Oh my God. So many times. And it's funny, you just said something so intricate. And a lot of times when you're called, when you're anointed, when there's a mantle waiting for you to pick up, a lot of times you're like, I'm good. God, you can have the oil. You can have the assignment. I'm not feeling this pressure. I'm not feeling all the attacks. I'm good. I really just want to do me. And sometimes we do us. And I will tell anybody, yeah, we can get ourselves into some horrible, horrible, horrible pits.
Mm-hmm.
But the grace of God is so wonderful. I can't I know we say this song a lot, but amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now I see. Listen, when you get to that space where when you have nothing left but God, yes, Lord, you have enough to start all over again. I'm telling, it's not anywhere you can get so far. It's not any decision you can make that we pick other things over Christ.
Yes.
But somehow, if you just got a little bit of God, I need you.
Yep.
God help me. He hears.
He hears.
He hears your cry.
Yes.
And because he's married to you,
Mm-hmm.
he's married to the backslider. He said it in his word. He has a natural obligation to pick you up off that pit and turn you around, place your feet on solid ground. I'm telling you, there's
nothing like
you
it.
can't get too lost for him. He can always find you.
Right.
He's the original. Yes.
But you can always find him. He can always find you, but you can always find him. That's the key about it, is that, he doesn't go anywhere. He's right there. No matter where you turn, he's right there. All we got to do is say, Jesus. And he responds. Jesus. That's it. That's it. At any time, Jesus. He's
no
there.
Other name.
No other name. No other.
No other name. Something about it. Something about the name. I called a lot of other names, but something about Jesus.
Jesus.
To my right, but when I looked up and I said Jesus, answer.
That's it. That's it. Just like that.
So good.
And it's so fun because you brought out a hymn, one of the staple hymns, amazing grace, amazing grace. How sweet the sound. And growing up, we sang the hymns all the time. There wasn't a Sunday that we did not do a hymn. The hymns. And look at us now. Look at us now. We continue to go back to the hymns. We go back to those foundational, you said it in the beginning, foundation. The foundation of who we are is the word and the hymns. The word and the hymns. Because sometimes you can't get the word, but you'll get that song will come up.
Listen, and that's so interesting because even biblically, the word and the Levites, they all coincide together. Even with war, they sent Judah first. So sometimes before you get to the word,
you better sing.
There has to be a dance first.
That's right.
To acknowledge that the word is coming, to grab your attention. So God hasn't changed. We do, but His word is the same.
It's the same.
How we move is the same. His answer key is all in the word. He's already given us the answer. He's given us the antidote. And it's so funny what you said about how we got to go back. The older seasons say, you keep living. It's going to become alive to you. We didn't believe it when we were younger, but you keep living. You're going to have to go in that old bag of tricks in the same songs. You used to see the mothers waving too. I used to be like, Mom, what are you waving at? What are you doing? always shaking, cleaning something, and just say, "I'm a motion." Just
Yes.
bust. Now I find myself being an adult, and I got my husband. We just being here praying, just cleaning, just spraying bleach, and just, hey, yes, God is good. His word, because
Yes.
it's so real to you.
Yes.
It becomes the fabric of who you are. Where would I be without it? Like a ship without a sail.
Without a sin.
You
Mm.
big.
Mm.
My God.
Listen, and yes, we saw it, but now we live it. We saw it,
Yeah.
but now we live it. It is who we are, but it's the choice that we have made. We have chosen to follow him.
I've decided, my God. Lord, have mercy today. Watch it. That's good. God today.
I've decided. Yes. Because
Woo.
is there any other way?
The other way's not popping. This the way right here. This the
Right.
way right.
Right.
The way
Right.
you finna like. Yeah.
But we have to, but there are so many young people and those that are younger than us in our same age group, those that are older than us, that don't necessarily see the need.
Yeah.
But something that we talked about a little earlier, the want for Christ. Right? And so we have to get back to being in the want of Christ, because we see the need, but how do we get to the want? Because after the need is met, do you have another need, or now do you want him? Now do you want him?
And you know what's so funny about that? Sometimes your wanting season is very unpopular. When you want Christ, it comes with a lot of attacks.
Mm-hmm.
It comes with a lot of rejection.
Mm-hmm.
Because wanting God is not popular these days,
It's not.
unfortunately. You know, we prefer, here we go. We like the benefits of God without the real relationship. God,
Right.
I want to be put. This is how we look in the spirit. God, I want to be put away. I want to be on the stage. I want the platform. We got all the vestitures, and we got all the collars, and we got all the titles. And then when we take that stuff off, can I tell you? Can I just be real?
Mm-hmm.
For these folk, half of these people, and we make, they really don't even really believe in God. If you just really be honest,
Come on.
we're going to oceans because we can benefit from it. And listen, I'm a musician first. I grew up as a singer first. That's the first thing I did coming up.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of times, you know, the singing and stuff, it can get you notoriety and stuff like that. And sometimes you just like going through the motions and the actual actions and stuff like that, that it ain't really becoming real to you. So this is why a lot of times we can go in these atmospheres where God is supposed to be and don't come out changed.
Right.
That's a
Exactly. Mm-hmm.
And those things, and because we don't want God, there is no oil.
Because we don't want him, there is
Because we
no
don't-
oil. Mm-hmm.
God's not giving oil to things that don't want them.
That's right.
And if you don't want them, I'm sorry to say, you're really rejecting
Mm. Yep. Yep. So we're going to take a pause. We're going to take a quick pause right there because we're a little over time. We got to go to a commercial break. And when we come back, we're going to go on the other side and we're going to talk about your music ministry and what you do and how you've been and where we're going in that. So we will be right back right after this commercial break.
General Overseer Bishop Archie L. McGinnis II and Full Effect Church's Global Alliance presents 2021 Summer Global Gathering, Thursday, August the 26th through Saturday, August the 28th. Lord, establish the work of our hands. Held at Full Effect Cathedral, located at 635 West Turner Street, Allentown, Pennsylvania. Come and worship with us as we seek the Lord to establish the work of our hands.
We're back, and we are talking with Joselyn O'Hannon-Brown. Yes, I said it right this time, because in the beginning I said it wrong. Joselyn O'Hannon-Brown. We are in this phenomenal talk with her in regards to just being a follower of Christ. But as being a follower of Christ, before we went to the commercial, we were talking about the want of God and our foundations and how we got here. And we talked a little bit about you being in music and how what you do in your ministry and what your ministry is and where it is taking you. Can you talk a little bit more about you and music and ministry?
Wow. Okay, so with me in music and ministry, wow, it's a big topic for me because I deal with different facets within there. I mean, besides the obvious doing the praise and worship and all those kind of things. As of right now, I'm started like doing a rebuild for people that are coming back from COVID and reestablishing their music departments that for real, honestly, they may have been a little shaky from the start. And now we're back and now we have to reapproach ministry from a whole nother perspective with new elements, new tools. And I also have a traumatic brain injury foundation that's called Sing Back to TI, which is infused with music therapy. So not only do I do the music within the church and the spiritual perspective, I take the therapeutic aspect of music and ministry and apply it to healing. So it's called Healing Melodies. And I apply it to that to help people heal because believe it or not, with a lot of stroke victims and brain injuries and different things of that nature, music is something that can help people rehabilitate quickly. So with
Yes.
studying that, I went to Berkeley College of Music and I studied all those things. So that correlates with what I already naturally love to do in ministry. And that correlates together to not just build things within the church, but outside of the four walls of the church as well. Make a difference.
Wow. That is a whole ministry within itself. I mean, going to different ministries and being a resource for those that have had strokes and different traumatic brain injuries, right?
Yes.
Like that's a whole ministry within itself. How did you like what made you get into that?
God was really clear. God was really clear to me, and he was dealing with me in a season where I was figuring out how to take ministry outside the four walls. And he said, "I'm ready to build up marketplace profits, where we
Mm,
have to take the same word but put it out into the world because we can't keep talking about we want to change the world and have impact, but we never go out there. But God said you need to go suited in me, though. You got to go in me. You can't go in your own way. That's when we get
right.
it twisted. Don't do your own thing. No, take that same method that I'm giving you, but take that wisdom and go into the marketplace and give them me. God said, I've given you the gift. So when it comes to ministry, even preaching and teaching and music, you can do that same thing to rehabilitate people. So when you're rehabilitating a person with an injury, they have family. It begets one thing and begets another and begets another. Because let me tell you something. The best way you can get to somebody's heart is when you're taking care of their loved one.
That's
You wake up something totally different. They will be your personal audience, and people will be attracted to how you're helping their loved one heal. That they're going to that's going to overflow with them. Well, what did you do to
right.
help rehabilitate my mom, rehabilitate my cousin? Because this is for gunshot victims. All ages. We're not just talking about a stroke victim of a senior season age. You're talking about people that can't walk and
Mm-hmm.
can't talk.
Mm-hmm.
The music therapy it realigns your cerebral cortex and your spinal regions and helps wake up the nerves in your brain. So it's all of those correlated. And if you are inserting Christ in there somewhere, listen, we're gonna get healed and saved all in one. I'm here for it all. You hear me?
Right.
So God just was feeding me things in the night season. God said, it's not just, He said, yeah, we're going to be on the natural, behind the podium naturally, because they're going to be appropriate times for that. But God said, there's more than just that to do.
Mm.
Not just behind the and not just on the pulpit, on the platform, but you want to have to throw on some scrubs and help rehabilitate somebody with my word.
Right. And by showing up.
Yeah.
And by showing up. Because our presence, because of who we are, hello somebody, and because he is us and we are him, hello somebody. When we walk in the door, he walks in the door, right? So he shows up when we show up because he is us and we are him, right? So we walk in to do his work because we are his work. Oh, come on.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yes. So, in the therapy part and coming in order to help others that have gone through these situations and circumstances, whether, it was a natural, something that happened naturally or something that happened because of, circumstance or situation, right? We are to be the conduit to help in healing and healing. Salvation, healing.
Yeah.
Healing and healing, right? So I applaud you. I am amazed at this ministry that you have started, that you are doing. Where are you located and who are you servicing?
So right now I go inside home. I have a home care agency that I house everything with. So people can book and schedule appointments so we can provide services at home. Because that's the era we're in, especially with COVID going.
Right.
Sometimes some people can't even physically get to the physical rehabilitation centers and stuff like that. So now we've aligned ourselves with different council people to get all these things approved to be going inside of the home with the proper, protocol with
Right.
all of those things. So we house it through a home care agency so that we can deliver people their healing through the word of the Lord, and then naturally, of course, through natural fellowship with ministry and
Right.
within the regular laws of the church. But we're going to get everybody.
Yes.
That's the goal.
Right. So what's the name of the ministry again?
Healing Melodies. That's the name of the ministry.
I love it.
Healing.
Yes. Oh my gosh. I love it because, listen, music therapy is something that was used way back and it needs to be brought back. It needs to be brought back.
Listen, you're so on it. Like I said before in our conversation earlier, everything is a biblical direction. Just like when the Spirit came upon Saul,
Yes.
and they called a musician to soothe his spirit. It's the same thing. It doesn't matter what you're plagued with, whether it's a stroke, whether it's a gunshot victim where you can't walk, you can't talk, whatever you're being plagued with, there's a soothing that God can give you, and it's a special anointing that comes from the Nothing. There's nothing new under.
Nope.
God has given the blueprint. All we have to do is just keep reduplicating what He already said. We don't have to say anything.
Yep. And here's the thing. The type of music that we listen to has effect on the type of healing that our body receives. The type of music. So we got to be careful of what we are taking in. The music that we're listening to. Well, yes, we have to be careful of what we are putting into ourselves. So you are a musician, but you are also a songstress as well. And you have some music that you have put out there that you've been sharing with everyone. Well, we are going to take a quick listen to Overflow right now.
Come and bless us. Oh Lord, send your power. I am thirsty for you. So pour out your spirit, God. Let it overflow. Let it overflow.
Wow. Okay. Fill my cup. Ah. Let me overflow. Yes. Oh, yes, Lord. Because isn't that what we want?
Yeah.
We want to overflow with His love, with His grace, with His mercy.
Mm.
We want Him to pour it into us
Ah.
so that we're never empty. We are
Mm.
always filled and
Ooh.
feeling the flow of His love. Joselyn, I thank you so much for the opportunity to sit and have this conversation with you. This is our first, but it is not our last. We will stay in contact, but I want you to tell the people how they can reach out and be in touch with you.
Yes, you can follow me on all social media, Instagram and Facebook under at Joselyn O'Hannon-Brown. You can find me. All my booking information are on those links, and you can follow up with me through those social media websites. Again, Joselyn O'Hannon-Brown. You should be able to find me. Hope to hear
And if
from
they want to contact you for um, music in regards to
you.
yeah, your healing.
So my ministry email is Jocelyn O'Hannon Ministry 4@gmail.com. And my email is attached to all my social media. So if you go to my social media first, everything is interchangeable. You can connect with me all. Yep.
But we're going to have that up so that everybody can see it. And I thank you. I love you. Listen, this is not the last time. This we here, me and you. And we're going to be doing other stuff together. I promise you we are. I promise you.
I can
Thank you so much. And I want to thank everybody for joining us today on the Pastor Chira Show. I pray that God met you where you are and that you received what He had for you in this conversation. Because foundation means everything. But we got to build on that foundation in order to be who God has promised us to be. God bless you. And I'll see you next week.
You can join us virtually or at the church located at 458 East Rittenhouse Street in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania.